Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew, and I'm with WickedFile on the customer support team. Today, I want to present this video and go over vendors and managing your vendors inside of WickedFile, specifically unverified and verifying vendors and what that process looks like. And this is extremely important, especially if you're just starting off as a brand new WickedFile customer. So, as you can see here, I am logged into a sample account. So first thing we're going to do is put our mouse cursor over this blue menu over here, and we're going to click on vendors. Now, we're going to start at the very beginning here, and that will be unverified vendors. So what are unverified vendors? These are vendors that have gotten uploaded into WickedFile, and essentially our system seeing, different parts vendors you may be purchasing parts from, and it's saying, hang on, I don't see where we've created this vendor yet in the system. Now, our system will actually read the vendor's name right off the scan. We just need you to go in and just verify these vendors really quick. And so what we can do is I'll click on this vendor. Now, as you can tell, Cooley Volkswagen of Richardson, Texas. This is a dealership here in the DFW area of Dallas, Texas. And our system is flagging this, and it's saying, "Hey, I don't see yet where we have a Volkswagen, a Cooley Volkswagen uh, vendor in the system." Now, all I would do is really two main things here. So first off, if I knew I've already verified Cooley Volkswagen in here, that's already a verified vendor. Um, Simply what you would do is just go in here and you could type in Cooley, and I can see right here, Clay Cooley Volkswagen of Richardson. The AI got the name a little bit mixed up. And the last thing we want to do is, our AI sits there and reads a vendor's name, and we accidentally map that to the wrong vendor because that would cause, potential parts matching issues in the background. So what we want to do is our system's playing it safe and it's saying, hey, I just want you to take a look at this. Now I can clearly tell this is a Cooley Volkswagen of Richardson. I could just click continue and just confirm it and say, yep, this is a Clay Cooley, this is the same dealership right here. That's it. Now, let's go back and pretend like I've never uploaded anything from Cooley Volkswagen. I'm brand new to WickedFile. This is the first thing I've uploaded. Well, what I'm going to want to do is actually create a new vendor. So right here, I can create a new vendor, click this right here, and I can change the name of the vendor if I wanted to. So I can kind of name it whatever I want to, however I want it to show up in WickedFile. I hit continue. Now, we're just going to ask you a few questions about this vendor. Is this a parts vendor? Meaning, do you always get parts from this vendor? Sometimes, maybe do you get shop supplies from them or inventory? Or never. So you would just click the appropriate answer. This is a dealership, so we're going to choose always. Is this a cost of goods sold vendor? Does this vendor provide goods or services that directly contribute to your cost of goods sold? Choose yes or no. And then we could categorize the vendor as well. This would be a parts vendor, but as you can see, we support sublet, tires, and towing as well. And then again, I'd click continue. And then, very important, is this a statement vendor? Meaning, do I get, a statement at the end of the week or at the end of the month from this vendor that we're going to reconcile? And that's very important because, as you know, WickedFile will actually go through every single line item and will reconcile your vendor statements for you, which is an extremely time-consuming process, for shops to have to go through that. So I could say yes if I wanted to, and you can actually even choose the frequency, meaning do you get statements at the end of, or do you get statements every week from this vendor, or do you get the statements at the end of the month from this vendor? Now, obviously, this is a dealership. Typically, dealerships don't do statements, but you can choose yes, no, and then you choose the frequency if you do choose yes, and that's about it. You would hit submit, and that's the entire vendor verified right there. Another thing you can also do is going back up here. If you wanted to, you can view the most recent scan. So you can actually pull up where, the exact scan document, the exact invoice we have from Cooley Volkswagen. If you want to take a look at it, you can search for, bank transactions related to this vendor as well. Now I'm going to go back to our vendors page here, and these as you can tell here, we can see all our verified vendors as well. That we've already gone through, and verified them all. Another thing you can also do is ignore vendors. So these are vendors that show up that we don't necessarily, they're not going to be reconciling to parts or anything. So maybe this is, somebody uploaded a receipt from like the grocery store, or, a fast food restaurant. It's something showing up in here that's not a parts invoice. It's not a parts vendor. It's not going to reconcile to a statement. Um, it's kind of just a miscellaneous item. We also can ignore those vendors. So that way, if our system sees it again, it will know, okay, this is a grocery store, receipt, or, whatever it may be. I'm going to ignore that because we don't want that stuff to try to reconcile in the system. It's just going to create noise. So you absolutely can do that as well if you want to. Again, I'm going to click on this. Looks like somebody uploaded just something weird. It's a privacy policy. I'm just going to click ignore vendor on this, and that's all you have to do. And it won't show up in here anymore. But that's kind of the gist of going over vendors. Again, very important. Maybe once a week, once a month, going in here, just checking, do we have any unverified vendors, and either mapping those unverified vendors to a verified vendor. And again, you would just choose through here and choose that verified vendor if they already exist. If not, we're going to hit this create a new vendor button, and we're going to create this vendor from scratch. And again, only need one truly verified vendor in the system for each vendor you have that you're buying from. But hopefully that answers any questions around vendors. As always, if you ever need any help, feel free to reach out to our customer support team. You can hit this question mark here in the bottom right corner. And there's a lot of great resources down in here. But that's about it for today.